Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question asks if I can analyze the mental health and personality factors that may be at work in the life and death of Jahseh Onfroy, otherwise known as XXXTentacion. Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I'll put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. So first I'll take a look at the background of Onfroy, and then I'll move to the mental health and personality factors. Onfroy was born in Plantation, Florida on January 23, 1998. His parents, Dwayne and Cleopatra, were Jamaican. At age 6, Onfroy attacked a man who was trying to attack his mother. At some point, Onfroy was placed in a youth program and then sent to live with his grandmother. He was raised in Pompano Beach and Lauderhill, Florida. At age 10, his father would go to prison for 9 years for racketeering and was deported to Jamaica when his sentence was complete. Onfroy started attending school choir, but then attacked another student and was kicked out. He was later kicked out of middle school for being involved in a number of fights. He started taking interest in music when he was in the choir. Onfroy went to high school, but would drop out in 10th grade. He would later say that during high school he was depressed, insecure, and a misfit. In 2012, he was arrested in Florida for possessing 21 grams of marijuana. He was released and arrested again for theft. He was arrested again sometime in 2013 or 2014 for possessing a firearm. While incarcerated, he befriended a musician. When Onfroy was released, he conspired with that musician to commit a number of home invasions. Not long after this, Onfroy started going by the name XXXTentacion. Often, though, he just referred to himself as X. In 2014, he uploaded his first song onto SoundCloud. Later, we see that he increased his activity on his YouTube channel, he joined a band, and stopped working in a call center to focus on his career in music. Later, he was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon and robbery. He broke into a man's apartment and stabbed him in the abdomen. He posted bail and was arrested just a few days later and charged with home invasion, assault with a deadly weapon, and robbery. These charges were in connection with the events that occurred in 2015. He posted bail and went back to working on an album, trying to get it released by October of 2016. But he didn't finish in time because he was arrested for aggravated battery of a pregnant woman, domestic battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, and witness tampering. In 2017, his music career was on the rise. He would start his first nationwide tour in April. On this tour, there were a number of problems. Just to name a few, there was a riot at a concert in Miami. It started before he arrived. In June, there were 3 incidents. He was knocked unconscious during a fight on stage in San Diego. In Utah, he punched an audience member who allegedly touched him. And there was another riot, this time in Chicago. Also in June, Onfroy's cousin was shot, leading Onfroy to cancel the remaining tour dates. Onfroy remained active, releasing songs and achieving a good deal of financial success. On October 19, 2017, he signed a $6 million deal with Caroline, a subsidiary of Capitol Records. 2 days later, he attacked a fan with a microphone at a festival in California. On December 1, Onfroy's lawyer presented a document to the court, allegedly signed by his ex-girlfriend, stating she would not cooperate with the prosecutors. Prosecutors believed Onfroy coerced her into signing the document. 7 new charges were added, which of course was a violation of the conditions of his bond. He was arrested in December of 2017. Eventually he was placed on house arrest, but was released in March of 2018 so he could go on tour. Evidently he needed money to pay his attorneys. He was still awaiting trial as we moved to June 18, 2018, in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Onfroy was driving his BMW i8, getting ready to pull out of a motorcycle dealership that he had just visited. This was about 4 p.m. Armed men driving a Dodge Journey blocked his path, exited their vehicle, and struggled with Onfroy. They shot Onfroy several times in the neck and took a bag containing $50,000. Onfroy was pronounced dead at 5:30 p.m. Now moving to the mental health and personality factors. It's been suggested that Onfroy may have been depressed and used substances, but I'm not aware that he ever had a mental health diagnosis. Onfroy was neglected by his mother when he was young. He started committing crimes at a young age. During his career, he was involved in a number of controversies, like public feuds with other musicians, the physical attacks on his fans, domestic violence, and other socially undesirable behavior. He was labeled rap's most controversial man. In addition to the criminal acts for which he was arrested, it is believed he may have committed other crimes, including the physical assault of a gay cellmate, which Onfroy described in detail during an interview. When looking at his life history, it's almost like his music career interfered with his life of crime, like he was a criminal who occasionally released songs as opposed to a musician who committed crimes. Onfroy has been described in a number of ways. Some people believed he was trying to turn his life around at the time of his death. They say he realized the error of his ways. Others described him as narcissistic, antisocial, insecure, obsessed with power, sadistic, and abusive. It's hard to know what his personality was truly like because it appears as though he had a public persona as part of his music career. Overall, his persona seemed to be high in openness to experience. He was creative and appreciated art. Low conscientiousness. He was impulsive, disorganized, and reckless. High extroversion. He was sensation-seeking and assertive. Low agreeableness. He was not modest, and he was antagonistic. And high neuroticism. He was emotionally reactive, angry, depressed, and unable to resist temptation. One thing I find interesting about Onfroy was how varied the reactions were when the news came out that he was murdered. Many people were sad. They felt like the world lost a genius, an amazing artist who was remorseful for his crimes and ready to turn the page. He wanted to become a productive member of society. Some view his death as sad for a different reason. They wish he could have faced justice for his horrible crimes, especially the domestic violence. Other people viewed his death as positive, as justice. He caused pain and suffering for so many people, and now he could not continue to do that. Many have been critical of the music industry for rewarding Onfroy, suggesting that they essentially fueled his criminal activities with large sums of money. Him being rewarded this way is a little hard to understand, considering not only what he was accused of, but what he was actually convicted of. It's really nothing short of astonishing that people in the music industry would want to be associated with him. I'm not really sure what type of values they're trying to promote. Physically attacking women, stabbing people, invading people's homes. Does this really sell music? I suppose the answer is yes. I think Onfroy's life and death serve as a wake-up call for the music industry. They need to be a little bit more selective. Onfroy lived a life of extremes, from poverty to wealth, from obscurity to notoriety. He could be performing in front of thousands of people one night and attacking somebody the next, or sometimes he could merge those activities together. When considering his extreme lifestyle, his death was really not that surprising. It's certainly unfortunate, but it was a predictable outcome of a life of violence. Onfroy wanted to be a role model for youth. I don't know where he learned how to be a role model, maybe Lindsay Lohan University or Kardashian College. Onfroy makes Lance Armstrong look like Dwayne Johnson. I think the lesson his life teaches is really about what not to do. His life is a cautionary tale. Unfortunately, I think sometimes it gets romanticized, like he lived the way he wanted and died in a blaze of glory. One of the things that's hard to imagine about musicians and other celebrities like Onfroy is how they were willing to risk everything to commit crimes. Onfroy was successful. Even before his death, his music was popular. He was making millions of dollars. Why risk everything? All crimes are not committed for financial gain. They could have been committed to satisfy sadistic desires because of narcissism or simply because he was emotionally reactive. Another idea about Onfroy is that he needed to be a criminal in order to write the types of songs he did. He needed to live a life consistent with his image as a rapper. Like rap is a musical form that is really about one's life experience. Somebody can't fake it and enter into that genre. Other industries don't require this. This seems unique to the music industry. No one would expect that an actor and the character that the actor plays in a movie would truly be identical. But if somebody is a country music artist, people would believe that they're familiar with that lifestyle, like they lived in a southern state. If somebody performs love songs, people would expect them to be sensitive and romantic. Therefore, I guess it makes sense that rappers would be expected to endorse the content of their music through their lifestyle. I think the moral questions here become, is it really okay to live a life of violence? And if someone makes that choice, should they be rewarded? Onfroy exemplifies another trend that we see with celebrities. Society strongly values certain artistic talent so much that they will overlook fairly pronounced characterological flaws in order to create a false hero. Those are my thoughts on Jahseh Onfroy. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be interesting. Thanks for watching.